Now that we are through with the issues related to mother tongue-based multilingual education, as well as the scientific and legal basis of MTB MLE, let us now proceed to our next topic, which is the implementation of MTB MLE in the classroom. How must MTB MLE be implemented in the classroom? But before we continue to unravel our main topic of discussion, let's have first a short review on the background of MTB MLE. So what is MTB MLE stands for? MTB MLE, also known as the Mother Tongue-Based Multilingual Education, is the government's banner program for education as a salient part of the implementation of the K-12 Basic Education Program. Its significance is underscored by the passing of Republic Act 10523, otherwise known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. MTB MLE is education, formal or non-formal, in which the learner's mother tongue and additional languages are used in the classroom. Learners begin their education in the language they understand best, which is their mother tongue, and develop a strong foundation in their mother language before adding additional languages. Research stresses the fact that children with a solid foundation in their mother tongue develop stronger literacy abilities in the school language. Their knowledge and skills transfer across languages. This bridge enables the learners to use both or all their languages for success in school and for lifelong learning. In terms of cognitive development, the school activities will engage learners to move well beyond the basic WH questions to cover all higher order thinking skills in the first language, which they can transfer to the other languages once enough Filipino or English has been acquired to use these skills in thinking and articulating thoughts. With the end goal of making Filipino children lifelong learners in their mother tongue, second language, which is the Filipino and the national language, and the third language, which is the English and the global language, the learners are more than prepared to develop the competencies in the different learning areas. This will serve as their passport to enter and achieve well in the mainstream educational system, and in the end, contribute productively to their community and to the larger society, as well as multilingual, multiliterate, and multicultural citizens of the country. For the effective implementation of the MTB MLE, it is suggested that the two-track method be used. That is, the primer track to focus on accuracy and the story track to focus on meaning. Learning via the two-track method to gain proficiency in literacy, as well as comprehend academic content and gain curriculum mastery, creative and critical thinking skills for decisive decision-making. The guiding principles for teaching and learning in MTB MLE. The first principle, the known to the unknown. Learning requires meaning. We learn when we use what we already know to help us understand what is new. To apply this, start with what the learners already know about a topic and use that to introduce the new concept. Beginning with the learner's first language and culture will better facilitate mastery of the curriculum content. Second language learners use what they know in their own language to help develop other languages. This positive transfer effect has been found to be significant in reading. In application, develop an awareness of how the first language works to support learning the second language as well as the third language. The second principle, the language and academic development. Students with well-developed skills in their first language have been shown to acquire additional languages more easily and fully, and that, in turn, has a positive impact on academic achievement. To apply this in the classroom, continue the oral development of first language and begin reading in first language to strengthen the second language and third language learning, as well as academic achievement across the curriculum. The third principle, cognitive development. Students who use their multilingual skills have been shown to develop both cognitive flexibility and divergent thinking. To apply this, continue developing critical thinking in the first language as well as in second language and third language. Higher order thinking skills. When we truly learn something, we can explain it, apply it, analyze it, evaluate it, and use it to create new ideas and information. In application, in all subjects, focus on activities that build understanding and that encourage students to apply, analyze, and evaluate what they have learned to create new knowledge. The fourth principle, discovery learning. We learn when someone who already understands the new idea or task helps us to discover the new idea and then use it meaningfully. In application, find out what the students already know about a topic. Then, provide activities that let them use their knowledge to learn the new concept or task. The fifth principle, active learning. Peer interaction. Children learn best through peer interactions, in which they work together creatively to solve problems. In application, do most class activities in teams or pairs. Encourage students to talk with each other and compare ideas in order to solve problems. Second language active learning. Young children gain confidence in learning a new language when they begin with hear, see, do activity. In application, begin the second language learning time by focusing on listening and responding to oral language. Children listen to a command, observe someone, respond to the command, and then respond in action. Purposeful talk. Talking helps us make sense of new ideas and information. In application, ask a lot of higher level questions and give students time to think and then respond. Next, provide plenty of opportunities for students to work in teams, sharing and comparing their ideas. The sixth principle, meaning and accuracy. Successful language learning involves hearing, speaking, reading, and writing activities that focus on both meaning and accuracy. In application, include plenty of activities that focus on both meaning and accuracy. The seventh principle, language learning or language transfer. We learn a new language best when the learning process is non-threatening and meaningful, and when we can take small steps that help us gain confidence in our ability to use the language meaningfully. In application, begin the second language learning time by focusing on hear, see, do activities that enable students to build up their listening vocabulary before they are expected to talk. Introduce reading and writing in second language only when they have built up a good hearing and speaking vocabulary. Research in second language acquisition indicates that it takes a minimum of 2 years to learn basic communicative skills in a second language when society supports that learning. It takes 5 years or more to learn enough second language for learning complex academic concepts. Errors are a normal part of second language learning. Second language learners benefit from opportunities to receive feedback in a respectful and encouraging way. It is helpful when teachers respond first to the content of what the student is saying or writing, focusing on one or two errors at a time. The eighth principle, affective component, valuing the home language and culture. Valuing students with talents in their home language more powerfully enables learning than just valuing learners of English whose home language is irrelevant to academic success. In application, learners are encouraged when they know they are valued in the classroom and their language and heritage are seen as resources. The classroom environment. Children from ethno-linguistic language groups thrive in a welcoming environment in which teachers and peers value them as a positive presence in the classroom and in the school, encourages their use of their first language, provide books, visual representations, and concrete objects that reflect their backgrounds and interests. With the MTB MLE's implementation, two modes stipulated in the guidelines were expected to be carried out. First, the mother tongue as a subject area, and second, the mother tongue as a medium of instruction in all learning areas excluding Filipino and English in kindergarten to grade 3 levels. This is according to DepEd 2013. The MTB MLE Language Policy. The inauguration of the Language and Education Policy in the Philippines was prompted by several studies, such as the Lingua Franca project in the year 1999 to 2001 and the Lubuagan project from year 1999 to present. As mentioned by Walter and Decker in year 2011, which provided inputs that motivated the government to develop a policy that would bridge the learners from their first language to other languages of instruction. According to Fillmore 2014, several studies proved that the use of second language in basic education programs may be linked to underachievement, poor literacy development, and high dropout rates. Thus, the DepEd integrated MTB MLE in the new K-12 basic education program and explicated one of the language policy's wider purposes, the 4 forms of child development that MTB MLE should influence to the students. These are language development, cognitive development, academic development, and sociocultural awareness. Language development means a higher level cognitive skill involving auditory and oral abilities in humans to communicate verbally individuals' wants and needs. This is according to Goldstein and Nagleri 2011. It establishes a strong education for success in school and for lifelong learning. Cognitive development focuses on higher order thinking skills based on various taxonomies of learning, such as the Bloom's taxonomy. While the critical thinking skills are distinguished from low-order learning outcomes because the HOTS involve synthesizing, analyzing, reasoning, comprehending, applying, and evaluating. According to Watson, year 2017. The academic development prepares students to acquire mastery of competencies in each of the learning areas. Lastly, the sociocultural awareness means the awareness of the societies and cultures of the target language, and therefore of the context the language is used in. Teachers themselves transmit information subconsciously about culture and society through their behavior and interaction with students. It enhances the pride of the student's heritage, language, and culture. DepEd also provided specifications in the guidelines on how to implement mother tongue language. The first language is mandated to be continuously used as the mode of instruction in a transition or bridging process through grade 3, while the second language shall be introduced in the first semester of grade 1 and have the 4 macro skills, which are the listening, speaking, reading, and writing, continuously developed from grades 2 to 6. And the third language shall be introduced during the second semester of grade 1, and the 4 macro skills shall be integrated and developed starting from grade 2 until grade 6. It is also suggested that the story track or meaning and primary track accuracy, a method that sets the standard in teaching for meaning and accuracy affecting the 4 macro skills, be employed to ensure that students gain proficiency in both comprehension and critical thinking skills.
What is required of a teacher in a multilingual classroom? The primary role of the teacher is to establish conditions and develop activities so that students are able to practice the language in a meaningful context. It is one of the teacher's greatest responsibilities to develop in the students a positive attitude. It is the teacher who acts a facilitator, resource person, and language model inside the classroom. If developing units, the teacher needs to predict the possible needs of the students and have communicative language activities readily available to meet these needs. The activities should be designed so that students experience a high degree of success. Teachers will also experience greatest success when activities are planned around students' interest and take into account subjects that they have some knowledge about. The teacher is also instrumental in creating a positive and supportive learning environment within the class. Students who feel safe and secure are much more willing to practice. A healthy classroom climate promotes risk-taking and allows the students to experiment. Positive experiences in the classroom lead to an excellent attitude toward language and culture. The role of teacher in a multilingual classroom is essential. First, he or she has to be multilingual too. Be able to explain and translate where the students don't understand within a few simple words. Second, the teacher must be a good communicator in order to explain and guide the students that they could trust him or her. Must know how to arrive straight to the point in order to be clear and precise. Third, the teacher must be a good mediator. Must know the cultures of different countries and specificity of their languages in order to not create problems but resolve them. Fourth and last, the teacher have to be able to make all the students cooperate in order to improve or be a good cooperator. The teacher could make them practice in the process of studying and guide them, showing that even the most difficult part of language could be pleasant and easy.